Good afternoon, White Pine County School District. This is your Superintendent, Adam Young, and I have the pleasure to be joined today with White Pine High School senior Jessica Young. Welcome.
Thank you.
No relation, by the way. And White Pine High School auto teacher, Erick Trevena. Thanks for being here.
Great to be here. Thank you.
So we're going to talk a little bit today about the wonderful experiences that students have here in the White Pine High Auto Technology classroom, which we are in right now. You can see behind us here a couple of the automobiles that are on display and serve as kind of models, I guess you could say, for the type of work that students do.
Active projects going on within the school. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, Mr. Trevena, we'll start with you, if that's okay. What brought you to Ely, Nevada?
It really is a full circle. I was a graduating class of 1995 here at White Pine High School, and I took auto shop the first year this building was done. So we were being bussed up from what's now the middle school for auto and wood shop. So for me, it's just been a goal. I think the pivotal point was a few years back, heading back from a camping trip. My awesome mother lives here and has all my life. So heading back from a camping trip and visiting with family, being able to kind of come and do that, and then we'd always have to go back to Las Vegas. And at one point, my son had said, at a younger age, said, "Why can't we just live there?" And I think my wife and I both looked at each other like, you know, we have careers in Las Vegas, and how could we make that happen? And my wife and I just had a conversation and said, let's figure out how to do this and make this happen. Let's give our family a change of scenery and something that I was able to grow up with. So we set a goal, and the blessing in that is that I was able to get on here at the high school, and it's just been a great experience so far.
Well, I jokingly refer to Ely as the middle of everywhere.
Yep.
And, you know, it's amazing the number of people that you run into who say, I've driven through Ely, Nevada.
Sure.
And it is a unique environment, but a beautiful area, and one that I feel, as also a White Pine High graduate and spend my career here, it's just a beautiful place to be able to live, work, and make a difference.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So you have experience as a teacher in the education world.
Yes,
but
sir.
that's probably not how you'd classify your primary background. Is that fair?
So my primary background, I mean, starting with Bob Lemos here in school and him kind of sparking that interest in the industry, I was able to gain employment with what some may remember as Carney Brothers here in Ely, Nevada, for many years with Richard Carney as a big mentor in my life. And Richard kind of helped me those few years out of high school, and even helped me get my first job in Las Vegas for an automotive shop there. And with that, it's just been, prior to moving here to Ely, I was teaching at the College of Southern Nevada part-time as an adjunct instructor in their automotive program, skipping summers, but throughout the semesters at the college. During the day, I was a corporate trainer for 3M Automotive Aftermarket Division, so a global company that would employ remote reps throughout the country to go into customers and potential customers and teach them how to use products. So not only was I working on a corporate level with adults, but I was also working at a college level in Vegas part-time.
Yeah. So that brings a lens to teaching that is unique for sure, right?
It is, and it's two different worlds to me, and I feel like being with these high school students, I feel even more pressure to do a better job, a good job, and making sure I'm getting that focus through with them, and that teaching those standards through them. And it's just been more personal to me, you know, more impactful. I think even now I give more consideration to exactly what I say and how I interact, because their minds are just a tad younger, but also very smart. They've taught me, I feel like, just as much as I've taught them.
So Jessica, thinking about your experience this year in Mr. Trevena's class as a senior, and you're in Auto 1 this year, correct?
Yes,
So it's the first auto technology class that you've taken.
this is.
Yeah. So what are some of the things that you learned?
So before I didn't really know how to change oil, and this class has like brought me down to a science of it, and now I can change it confidently. It's taught me, how to change tires. I've rotated tires in this class, and so, if I get stuck on the side of the road, which has happened a few weeks ago, and I knew exactly how to change the tire, no problem, got home safe and everything, and it's taught me about brakes, and a lot of the simple things that I didn't learn before. And a lot of people, they think of it as like, oh, you don't know how to do that, but like a lot of people don't. And so in Auto 1, it teaches you those basics, and I think that those basics are what helped me confidently be able to achieve the task.
I love that. And that was a very articulate response as well. Um, so let me ask this, and this is maybe for both of you.
Sure.
In the career and technical education world, which is the CTE world, right? This is a CTE class. One of the things that is an area of focus at the national level and in our state as well is this thing that they call kind of like the underrepresentation of certain groups
Sure.
in the field. And in the auto technology field, Jessica, women are underrepresented as compared to men are.
Yes.
And so I'm curious about what your perceptions are, having been a female in the auto technology program this year. Like, I think it's fair to say that there's maybe a little bit of a stereotype about, the types of folks who work on vehicles and whatever. You're a stereotype buster right now, correct? So
For sure.
She is absolutely a stereotype.
yeah. Say a little bit about that.
I'd like to just proceed that with there was a particular situation where we were working on a vehicle. It wasn't Jessica's, it was a car in the shop. I don't remember if it was a teacher's, and I was having a hard time getting to a bolt on the backside, and I had climbed up, and I went into the room to find a tool, and Jessica jumped up there quicker than any male student and got in there, and she was loosening that bolt for me. So she's, anyway, I'll let her speak, but I'm just very impressed with her initiative.
So a lot of that has to come from my past and my background. From working on a ranch, there was only a few kids, that my parents had, and my other two older siblings weren't really into it. And my dad has always taught me, to work hard, to be the first one to jump in. Don't wait around. Don't look like you can't do anything, because you can. And being a female and stuff, and being a male, you do get a lot of people that say, "Oh, you're a girl. You don't know how to do that." When in reality, anybody can learn it, and they can learn it in a confident way. I don't think that gender should discriminate you. I think that if you learn it, you can do it. So.
I just love hearing that. So tell us a little bit more about you too. It's your senior year. You talked a tiny bit about your background. What has contributed to Jessica being a successful student and just about ready to graduate?
So a lot of my senior year has been based on me working on the ranch. I am getting ahead in life financially. I have 30 head of cows that are my own, that I bought on my own. I am working on paying them off right now. And a lot of kids don't get that opportunity. I have a very, very rare opportunity of being able to get a head start in this. And I think that it's a great, great opportunity to have, because now I can plan my future confidently. I'm not stuck in my head of where, oh, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should do that. If I change my mind, at least I'm financially stable to be able to change my mind. So if I want to go to college, and I'm not saying that I won't, I'm saying that where my situation is right now, I'm comfortable going straight into the work field. And I might go to a college in Arizona and get my associates in business and management. And I might do that in agriculture, but I want to be able to know how to do spreadsheets very well. I want to be able to financially be wealthy.
Yeah. One thing that you said just makes me think about this idea of learning, and I th I think it's probably fair to say that a lot of times in schools we think about, you know, learning happens within the four walls of the school, and when you're not in the four walls of the school, maybe you're not learning, you know. But that is not the way that it works in life, is it? Like it's education and life and learning and school, like it's really everything together. And so, what are some of you talked a little bit about it, but what's are some of the other things that you have learned through your life experience with your family in growing up on a ranch?
So a lot of things that I have learned is, how to tell, if a cow is sick and stuff, and like being able to manage the cows on feed. And so like if they're running out of feed, then you got to move them to a different pasture. If, a water line's broke, you got to fix it so that they aren't dehydrated. And some other things that the ranch has taught me, and this is not exactly work related, being able to work with people is a really big thing. You got to be able to have communication, because if there is no communication on the ranch, it gets really messy, because one person could be, fixing fence, and the other person could be pushing the cows into the field that the person is fixing the fence in, and the fence couldn't be all the way fixed, and so the cows might get out. So communication is a really big key in ranching.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
I've tried to find my leaders in each class too, and it just so happens that Jessica's my leader in the second period. Is just finding somebody that can. I think I just want to piggyback on what she said. Being able to communicate with other people. I think the majority of the students in our class are freshmen and sophomores, and
Yes.
so Jessica kind of helps me wrangle a little bit and get everybody focused, and
Yeah.
I lean on her a little bit to just support my efforts.
Yeah, and that makes me think again about what we were talking about before of how interconnected the things that we learn ought to be. Not that they always are, but they certainly ought to be. And some of these leadership skills that you're kind of demonstrating in school have a direct application with what you do out of school and vice versa. Because I'm imagining that the way that you're able to lead some of the other students in your second period class comes because of these other experiences that you've had,
Yes.
outside of school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And working on the ranch and stuff, like my dad and my other boss, they partner on cows, and so they kind of put me as the man in the middle and stuff for their other workers and stuff. We have a few other people that are working for us, and they'll ask me, hey, like what did the boss say on this and stuff, and so then I'll kind of direct them in that area of like, oh, you need to go check this water, or you need to go rake the fields, or stuff like that. So it has helped me a lot in being able to um, in a way be a leader in that way. And when I did my senior presentation, a lot of it was on ranching, because I have 3 class periods, and after those 3 class periods are done, then I go straight to work, and that's like mainly what I do. I don't have a whole lot of outside of time. And like, being able to hang out with friends and stuff, yeah, that's great too, because that also teaches me some communication and bonding and stuff. So yeah.
Um, Mr. Trevena, it's your first year here at White Pine High. I imagine, and you alluded to this before, there's been a period of adjustments, probably still in that period of adjustment from your previous work.
Absolutely.
Do you want to share a little bit about that?
I guess the best way I can sum it up is especially at the beginning of the year, I felt like sometimes I was trying to find the light switch in the dark, if that makes sense. And as the years progressed, I've become more comfortable in knowing what this role entails and being able to kind of adapt. To just, I think the most pressure I felt is the pressure I put on myself, to do a better job, to follow the state standards, the CT standards, to make sure that I'm engaging with each student. Some classes might have 20, whereas others might have 4. So it's just making sure that I'm giving the individual attention to the people or to the students, I'm sorry, that would want to be here, and even some that just want to just come in here, if that makes sense, or maybe they just got dealt auto shop. So
Yeah.
trying to engage those has been a good challenge, if that makes sense.
Sure, sure. And what makes you excited for the future about your career, but just thinking about education in general? Like a lot of people don't have positive thoughts sometimes about what happens in our schools. Not just specifically talking about our schools, but just globally,
Sure.
sometimes people kind of point their finger at like, more math, more English, less auto shop, less music, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
I'm just wondering if you have thoughts on that.
I mean, 30 years in Las Vegas and seeing the potential and the need for technicians coming into this field. So you might have students that don't plan on going to college, maybe they do. I actually went to college myself, but I also stayed within that automotive career field. I just know, I mean, I built a career board to almost kind of explain to students there are so many opportunities to make a living in the automotive field. It doesn't have to be just spinning wrenches. It can be as a service writer or in a more type professional corporate position such as what I just left in Vegas. So it's getting that, the excitement for me is honestly to see again that full circle of students that have graduated, maybe been able to get a job in the automotive field and coming back to me like I did, Mr. Bob Lemos at I think a 4th of July parade. The pride in his eyes when I told him that I was working for a dealership, and he, and it was maybe 4 or 5 years after high school. I want to feel that same thing. I want to have students come to me and say, "Hey, Mr. Trevena, I'm working in the automotive field, and thank you for inspiring me."
Yeah, it's beautiful. Jessica, what closing thoughts do you have? Like, as you think back on this K through 12 educational career that you're about to close out here, what are some things that you're just really, really proud
A lot of things that I'm proud of are the teachers that support the students. Eric does a great job at that. I mean, like he said before, he has kids that want to come back to this class because they enjoy it so much. They want to work on that stuff. And that really makes me excited for the future, seeing kids take an interest in something, because a lot of kids sometimes they don't want to, learn a whole lot, but Eric, I think, really changes that in their minds. He sparks something inside of those kids that nobody else, thought was possible. The kids that he didn't think, or kids that, other people don't think that they're going to have, a bright future. Eric sees that in them. And I really appreciate that from him, because I mean, I've learned a lot and I take that information, like everything, we have personal conversations, and like he has personal conversations with students and grows that bond with them. And I think that's really important in auto shop. And that's what everybody enjoys in this class, is being able to find that spark and find that bond and everything like that. And like looking through school, teachers like Eric, like make me want to become a better person. They make me want to find an interest in life that I just want to pursue and everything. And, I've had teachers like that, and it's been a big impact on me. So, yeah.
Thank you. That's, you should be proud of that. And, I just want both of you to know, Jessica, I'm so proud of you. I can't say that you and I have had personal interactions before today, but man, what an impressive individual you are. Your future is so bright. I can't wait to see what you accomplish, and I'm so proud of what you've done as a student.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sir,
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I'm excited. I'm glad to be here too. I mean, Ely, I was born here. I mean, it's very exciting to be here.
The joys of school announcements in the afternoon. Well, I think we'll wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for viewing this. Please feel free to share, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get notifications when these videos come out. And thanks.
Yeah,
to
thanks
both
for
of you.
listening.